So we have a fantastic audience for you here today. Really an international crowd from Switzerland, Sweden, Japan, Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia. The world has come to you. So joining us from Malaga, Spain, I have the pleasure of inviting Arno A. For several years now, Arno has been working on understanding our energy infrastructure. So it's an honor to have him here with us today. Let's get back on track. Tell us about how you're the founder of the Hanover Fair and one of the biggest hydrogen exhibitions worldwide.
Well, the secret of our success was that I invented what we called full service package. That means we were looking at it from the eyes of our exhibitors, and we did everything for them. We provide breakfast, we provide lunch, we had meeting rooms. At that time, we had fax machines.
It's the trick, huh?
We had plugs for all electricity connections, and we had our own meetings rooms. It was very comfortable for the exhibitors. We had evening parties, evening meals. Everything was provided.
Mm-hmm. But you didn't only just do that. You also wrote a book.
Yes, I did. I wrote the book, The Hydrogen Society, More Than Just a Vision. That's my book, which I wrote in 2010. It was a giveaway present to my customers and my friends. It is still online, and everybody can download the book for free.
Okay. Yes, we will share. We'll share all the links with our audience. So, definitely an interesting journey, Arno, from Airbus to then creating your own agency and then your event management. So, an inspiring journey. But so let's come back to Thailand. And
Yes.
I'd like for all of us to take a look at the energy sector, energy consumption, by sector in Thailand. Can you tell us a little bit more about it and what this green line represents?
Yes, thank you. Well, the green line represents the energy dependence ratio in Thailand. The scale is on the right-hand side, and it shows us that the energy dependence in Thailand was going down until 2008, and then it's more or less slowly going up again. This means more and more energy or primary energy has to be bought abroad from different countries to fulfill the needs inside Thailand.
Mm-hmm. But so in 2015, yes?
So I think the target must be to get that curve down again, that the energy independence of Thailand will finally end up at zero, which means that Thailand has to be fully independent of foreign primary energies.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely
that must be the target not only for Thailand, but I think on the long run for every country.
Oh, agreed. But at least it's still producing 40% of its energy, as we can understand. So if we actually look at the electricity generation in 2016.
Yes. Our next slide shows us the electricity generation by fuel in 2016. The small circle is the breakdown of renewable energy, which is in fact just 10% of the energy needed to make electricity. And here again, the biggest share, but that's the same in Germany, is biomass. And the 10% is okay, and 10% in the future in Thailand's electricity generation. More and more 10% of renewables.
Mm-hmm. No, I definitely think it would be a share that keeps growing. So now that we've understood how the electricity is produced, why don't we take a look at Thailand's energy flow?
Yeah, the next graphic is from Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory in the United States. Actually, on their own webpage, you can find out this graphics for each and every country of the world. The latest figures they had are again from left to right. On the left-hand side, we have the primary energy like petroleum and also natural gas. In Thailand. Here we have the producing of electricity. the yellow field, and it shows us that there are many losses by the laws of thermodynamics in making electricity. Here is the transport section below, and here again you see the losses called rejected energy within the combustion engines. So these are the two big losses in the making of electricity first and in using combustion. About how we can eliminate those losses.
Because in the end here, we actually understand where the energy is coming from and where it's used. And the biggest downfall is all of the rejected energy versus the actual energy being used.
Yeah, that's true.
But in the end, we do still pay for all of the produced energy, even though we don't use it.
Yeah, we have to pay for this in the beginning. And we can only use little, we can only use this little amount, but still there are ways of coming out of this dilemma.
Oh, I hope so. And
yeah,
so if we look, yeah, I mean, that's why we're all here today, to find new solutions. And if we look now at the situation in Germany, what can you tell us about it?
Well, in Germany, it's more or less the same. Most people think Germany is very advanced with renewable energies. That's true. But still, the actual energy infrastructure system is based on a 130 years old way, which was invented by Thomas Alva Edison, Mr. Westinghouse, Mr. Tesla, and Mr. Siemens in the 1890s or 1880s. And what they started at that years, 2 centuries ago, is still valid, running 24/7 all over the world. So here, this is more or less the same graphic for Germany as we had before from the Lafrenz Livermore Institution. And here again, we see the high losses, this little arrow, this big arrow in red. The losses are 118, while in Germany we have to pay for 554 units, which are million of coal equivalents. And we are 554, which means that the amount of losses inside mostly the electricity system is rather high.
So again, we still have the same problem of producing and paying more than we ultimately use. So why don't we compare it now to 2011, from 2011 to 2015 in Germany?
Yeah, those are the latest available figures, and we have combined this in this next graphic from 2011 to 2015. It looks a little complicated in the beginning, but in the end, you find out no matter what you do, it will not change much in the whole system, because you can turn a little here and a little there and change something here and change something there, but still, because of the strongness and the archaic system built in here, it will not really help starting with little things. So we have to think about the whole holistic picture, and we have to think, what can we do here at the end of the pipeline in the needs for industry, for households, for small enterprises, and for transportation. This is our target. We don't want to support all the system. We must look at the end. What do the people really need? That's we have to put the focus on.
No, I agree, because actually if we dig deeper into understanding the infrastructure itself in Germany, I think that's where we understand where the losses come from.
Yeah, that's true. So maybe we come to the next slide, then I can explain about the grid.
Please tell us more.
So the German high voltage grid on our next graphic has a length of more than 1.7 million kilometers. This figures 1.7 million kilometer alone doesn't say long, but you must compare it to the size of the Earth and to the distance between the Earth and the Moon. So in this scale, this is the little moon, in this case an olive kernel. This is our Earth, And in this scale, the distance is 1.7 meters from Earth to Moon, 1.7 meters. And the German electricity grid is 4.5 times the distance between Earth and Moon. Which means when you have a drum of cable on your back, I send you up to the Moon, you go from the Earth to the Moon and back again, once again to the Moon and back again, and in the half your cable is done.
Wow.
So in other words, it's running 45 times around the equator. Here, 1.67 times from Earth to Moon and 40 times around the equator. So in the worst case, when I shave with electricity, which I do not do, or when you dry your hair with a hair blower, the electrons are running 45 times around the equator. Only for the small country like Germany, which you cannot even identify on this globe.
No, it's a pretty ridiculous
Germany,
number.
Yeah, Germany has about the size of California. Let me find it. Here. That's the little Germany. And most people in Germany, they don't even know this. So my challenge is also to inform the people about facts and figures. So this is our graphic in German with these impressive two figures.
Mm-hmm. No, it's quite a shocking number to realize how many times it is the distance to the moon for a small country like Germany. Makes us reflect what it's like in other infrastructures. So if the current infrastructure is so highly inefficient, what do you suggest that we do?
Absolutely. Just one last more figures about this German grid. Actually, we have 4 different levels of voltage. And to get this voltage, different voltage from 380 kilovolt to 220 volts, we have to apply more than 566,000 substations, more than 500,000 substations, which are running 24/7, divided all over Germany. And they are producing a lot of heat.
Mm-hmm. And that's where a lot of the loss comes from in the end, from the transmission to the energy.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. But you seem to have an idea of how to deal with the current infrastructure being so inefficient.
Again, we have to look at the end of the pipeline. We have to look what do the people actually need for industry, for household, for transport, and for small, medium enterprises. Mm-hmm. And then we come to the solution which you have at the Phi Suea House already fulfilled. We come to a solution which is called Decentralized and 100% off the grid, according to my topic. Mm-hmm. So I would suggest to make hydrogen on site, not far away, on site with the available technology, and needed there as a real renewable energy carrier. Use not only sun and not only solar, but also some other renewable energies which are available. Maybe you go on the next slide.
Let's look at, yes, our personal power provider.
Yes, we have to think about all locally available renewable energies, because photovoltaic alone is not enough. The sun is not shining at night. We should know this. Wind alone is not enough. The wind is not blowing 24/7. So we must make a combination of solar, wind, geothermal, running water, stored water. The water has a very high density, and the water, also it sounds old-fashioned, is a best storage medium for energy. So if you pump some water high and have it in a reservoir, you can use this water very convenient to make electricity, the kinetic energy inside the water. Mm-hmm. And then maybe there are some other renewable energies which we don't even know. I mean, we could not fly with 500 people with an aircraft over a distance of 14,000 kilometers. And nowadays we can. It's daily work. But in 1903, there was only one people or two brothers who could do this. And now million people are flying every year. So in every location, it's different in Thailand, it's different in Germany, different in Spain, and even different within one area according to the situation as it is on site. And then you can balance your need, your personal power need. It is like an algorithm between the supply from all locally available renewable energies and the demand inside your house for washing machine, for computer, for fax, for internet, and also for heating and for cleaning. And also in the end, you can drive your own car with your own energy which you have made yourself. Mm-hmm. So the conversion losses will be low because it's all on site, and the distribution losses will also be low because you use it the moment you make it.
No, I think, and there are also some small changes that we can even do at a personal level when we address our needs.
Yes, we can start with our own small changes. This, for example, is one of my solar chargers. I have 4 of those chargers here in my house in Spain, in my apartment actually, and I connect them to the window. They are charging automatically. So this one is now on 3 bars. Then I have my little connecting plug, USB into the solar charger, and I can connect all the mobiles. Actually, I only have some old-fashioned mobiles, but if I would, I could connect them and I can charge them with this solar energy which I have harvested myself from the sun. This is only a small step, but it is an important step, and it can be done by everybody because these devices cost in Europe maybe $15 or $20. The next step is, which only not many people are aware of, that nearly all our devices are working on direct current, low voltage DC, between 19 volt DC and 6 volt DC. In the end, only 1.2 volt DC. Let's take another example, this little LED lamp. Here you see the 22 volts going into it, AC, which came from this grid, as you may remember, being transformed in 566,000 substations. Now it's in our plug, in our bulb. But when you take this out, inside each and every LED, there is a transformer and a rectifier, because the LED lights itself, they only run on 1.2 volt. So when it says here on the bulb 4 watt, at least 1 watt is going into the conversion from 220 volt to 1.2 or to 6 volt, 220 volt AC to 6 volt DC. So this is in every LED lamp. You can also test it yourself. That's another one. 220 volt in, rectifier, transformer, and just 1.2 volt for the actual lamp. So this is a question of common sense, and in the end it's the same with your computer, your laptop, your mobile phone, your camera. Everything is running on low voltage DC. Your printer, and you can also use your washing machine because you can make the hot water from solar thermal, and the turning machine only needs not many, maybe 100 watt. This you can also have run your motor on low voltage DC. That's easy.
Mm-hmm. No, these are definitely some applicable solutions that we can do at a personal level. And ultimately,
yes,
from the production side, yes?
One more example. This is also now starting to come onto the market. Here, the USB stick, and here the connection to the car, to the lighter of your car. So more and more the industry is getting aware that we only need low voltage DC, and making devices. This costs maybe $1 or $2 from your plug in the car, from the cigarette lighter to the USB stick to load your devices.
Because our ultimate
step
goal,
by step,
it's
step by step is going forward.
Yeah, and ultimately it's to be energy independent, to have a decentralized energy generation.
Absolutely. That is the final target. And again, you at Phi Suea House are very advanced in this. I'm very proud what you have achieved. And also thanks to Sebastian's effort and your team, it's a great thing you have done and it's a good example. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you, Arno. And then maybe you'd like to share some thoughts on the advantages of this new way of thinking when we harness the opportunity that we have with renewable energy.
Yes, as we compared it with when you think of the graphic comparison in Germany from 2011 to 2015, it doesn't make much sense to change a little here and a little there. We must see the whole picture and we must see what do we really need. And then we find out that we don't need much. We only need little and we can make it ourselves here at the end. This also is working with industry. This is working in the offices. This can be done in skyscrapers. It can be done everywhere. So we have to come to think out of the box. We have to think of new ways of making hydrogen, of using it as a real renewable made, decentralized energy carrier. And then when we carry on in our household with low voltage DC, we are in. We don't need any inverters when we start to think about it.
No, it's definitely some actionable steps that we can all work towards to be independent from the grid.
Yes, I only want to give you some hints. I don't want you to build this personal power thing. It's only a visualization of my ideas. It only wants to show you the way of new thinking coming out of the box. That's only a imagination.
No, but it's good. We do need some sort of big pictures ideas and just to see if we put all of the solutions available together, what can we really do? And I think that's what we try to have done our best with at the Phi Suea House here in Thailand.
Yes. The Phi Suea House is a great example how sustainable energy system can help societies and can also help the people. I'm quite sure about this. And it shows how the carbon footprint can be reduced. And when there's a mass production, we also need less cost for the actual units, because the first mobile phones, they were rather expensive, but now a mobile phone in the production, like even an iPod, costs less than $100. So it's only a question of mass production. And these are steps which have to be done, and I hope, and you showed it with your Phi Suea House, that it is possible and you started already. And this is a good example. It's a lighthouse project to be followed.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Arno.
My pleasure. Thank you for listening.
Oh, thank you. No, it was really an honor to have you share your ideas and your knowledge with us. Thank you for your analysis, and I'd like to open the floor to questions to our audience. If anyone would like to begin. So here we have Mark, who will ask you something.
Hello. First off, thank you very much for the speech. That was very entertaining and also informative. My question would be, what do you view currently as the largest hurdle to sort of large-scale adoption here in Thailand as opposed to Germany?
The largest hurdle is only in the way of thinking. The largest hurdle is understanding this whole picture. And once you understood this whole picture, then you know exactly what to do. And it's not a technology hurdle. The technology is there. Has been there sometimes even since 10 or 15 years. But the hurdle is in understanding the needs and in trying to improve the whole system. That's my advice, working on this since 25 years. It's in the mind. It's not in the technology. So we need strong people who are able to adapt the existing technology to a new level. This can only be done by human beings, not by one or two, but by thousands, and they must do it on their own initiative. It must come from their heart, and not because of money or what anything. It must come to help the mankind. That's the only way. I had the same example with the aircraft. When we started with Airbus, we had not even an aircraft when I was joining the company 1969. And Boeing and Lockheed and McDonnell Douglas, they had 6,000 aircraft and we had 0. And now we are equal. That's a good example. Thank you.
I saw emotion when you talk about energy storage with water, but I haven't seen any matrix in your presentation. Do you have any matrix? Did you make any study about what's the option, potential of energy storage with water tank or with the water?
Yes, the water tank, it's kind of suppressed because people think it's low technology, but with my team, we have worked it out some years ago. When you pump water into a reservoir, which is on the highest level of your area, let's say by wind energy, but not by wind energy making electricity, but by wind energy making a movement, a mechanical energy, and you pump water up into this reservoir, and then you can use it finally when you need it at the night or when there's no wind. You can use the running water to fill up your batteries with a little turbine, which costs maybe $50, and with a little DC generator on this turbine. So in the end, it's only the way of thinking, and it's a way of adjusting the locally available renewable energies to the actual need within a building, within an office, or even within industry. Everything can be supplied on the site at the same premises. So you can work it out for every region because you have to analyze your needs. DC only, no inverters, and then you will find that's only very small, very little, and you can analyze what you have available on your ground, and then you can make it. On my website, there are more details about this.
Oh, thank you. I think we have another question. How do you feel about the cogeneration of solar and wind for
hydroxyl generation?
This is the only way, a combination of existing technologies. That's the only way, making and using primary energies from renewables and then combine them to fulfill the need of the people. This is a combination, it's like an algorithmus. This is the input, this is the output, and this has to come into a scale. And when you have a smart algorithmus between input and output, between need and supply, you don't need much storage. The storage question goes down to zero if this is a good algorithmus, input to output or need to supply. The storage is very, very little, and this can be stored in this pumped water, as an example.
Is there any excess production?
Yeah, of course. Yes, there is excess production, and this excess production you can use for your neighbor. You can use it for your neighbors. You can sell it to. You don't have to sell it around the globe. You can use it within your neighborhood, or you can store it. Let's say you can store it long time storage for in summer for the winter. You can use it for your neighborhood. You can use it for the next buildings. Everything is possible. You can even transmit the energy wireless. There are many, many opportunities.
I think you answered our audience's questions, and I'm happy to
Thanks.
let our audience know that your presentation,
Yes.
as well as speakers' notes, will be available online, as well as this full interview has been
You're welcome.
recorded. So we will share the link.
Everybody in your audience can send me a private personal email. I will answer everything. You go on my website, you see much more about it, and I would like to thank you very much, and also Sebastian for getting this event done. Thank you, Vaitea, for your support, and also I would like to thank Daniela Peschka, which made this nice presentation up.
Well, thank you very much, Arno. Thank you for your time, and thank you to your team as well. Thank you.
Okay. All the best.
Bye, Arno.
Bye-bye. Thank you for your patience. I hope to hear from you again.
Yes, definitely. Have a good day. Bye.
And you. Thank you.
And there we go. That was Arno A. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming today to our Hydrogen Energy Summit. It's been a really complete day. Thank you.